Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are all throughout the United States, and some of you have joined me before, so thank you for joining me again. And if you are just joining me for the first time, welcome. And this is an opportunity for you to ask your immigration questions. It's literally so many people call our office on a daily basis, and they just have one-off immigration questions. And so I do this in order to answer some of those questions that you might not want to schedule a consultation for. And for those of you that maybe just want to get to know me a little bit better before deciding to schedule a consultation. Okay, so feel free to go ahead and ask your immigration questions. I'm happy to answer them for you. All right, and again, if you haven't joined me before, I represent clients in literally every different kind of immigration case. So we handle employment-based immigration, which is companies that are sponsoring people for different kinds of visas and for green cards. So if you're interested in learning more about that process, hi Corey, I'm happy you're always joining me here. It's nice to see you again. So we represent companies that are sponsoring individuals for visas and for green cards. But if you are just looking to understand your company's green card process or how you might be eligible or what the timeline is for something like that, several of our clients will call us for consultation to get a better understanding of their company's green card process. So feel free to reach out to us and we can schedule one for you. Other kinds of cases we handle are things like victims of crime, people who are victims of abuse. Just got another approval notice today. We're very excited on that for a victim of abuse. We also represent family-based cases where people are sponsoring family members, either those that are abroad or those that are already here in the US, and individuals and all different types of things like extraordinary ability, investment-based visas, and the like. So really, we run the gamut in terms of the types of immigration cases we take on. If you are interested in speaking with me about your case, feel free to reach out to my office, which is 703-348-1663. Okay, 703-348-1663. All right. I'm happy to do a consultation by phone or by Zoom. Zoom is my preferred method because I can show you documents, I can give you the process, and we can walk through it step by step. It's the closest that I feel to an in-person consultation. But if you want to come into the office, you're welcome to do that. All right. Great. We have some folks here with a number of questions, and I'm going to start talking because I wanted to bring up a question that comes up pretty often. And again, it came up today in one of my consultations. All right, go ahead and put your questions in while I'm chatting. However, I will get to them, and I have a good amount of time today, I think, to answer most of your questions. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about today is it's related to an I-360, a VAWA I-360 self-petition for a green card. So that's what I wanted to talk about with you today. Great. Thank you, Ara and Brian, for watching. It's nice to see you guys on here and supporting us. Ara and Brian are on my team, and they're so awesome. If you give us a call, you can talk to Ara, and if you work with us, you'll probably talk to Brian pretty often as well. So, so thanks, guys. My team is here cheering me on. So exciting. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was a question related to a self-petition. So these are green card applications for victims of abuse in a marriage, right? So if someone is married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, these are applications for victims of abuse in this marriage. So it could be emotional abuse, psychological abuse, but essentially one of the requirements is to be married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and also to live with them. Okay, so there are several requirements, obviously, but the two things that I want to talk about right now are, one, you have to be married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and the other one, you have to live with them, right? And again, these are victims of abuse. So one of the things that comes up is, how long do I have to live with this person? Like, what is the minimum requirement for me to have to live with this person who is abusive for me to be able to qualify for a green card? So this is something that's new to people. Sometimes people aren't aware. There is no minimum length of time that you have to live with them, right? There is no minimum length of time that you have to live with your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse to be able to qualify for a VAWA. All we need to show is that you did live with them at a certain point in time. Okay, and that can be done through your statements, that can be done through statements of other people if they witnessed you living together, if they came over for dinner, if they knew you to be living with your spouse. So it can be done in different ways. So don't let that, if you only lived with your spouse for a month, don't let that stop you. If you were in an abusive relationship and if you were married to this U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse who was the abuser, who was abusive towards you, and it does not, again, have to be physical. Sometimes words are more hurtful than physical violence, right? So they could be putting you down, emotionally abusing you, berating you, degrading you. And there's lots of different ways that people can be abusive. So if you have found yourself in the situation, or if you were in the situation and are no longer in it, you might be eligible for a green card, right? So what happens when we apply is once we apply, we get work authorization, usually in about 6 months, and we get a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. So today I saw an approval for this kind of case. Normally it takes about 1.5 years, 1.5 years to get for this type of petition to be approved, right? And this is a little bit earlier than you would apply for the green card. So the petition gets approved about 1.5 years after we apply, and that means that person has permission to live in the United States forever and get a work permit forever. And then later on, a green card interview is scheduled, and we appear for the green card interview. Okay, so today, excitingly, we saw an approval, and I think it has only been since March, so only a few months. The thing was approved. So the rest of it is downhill. All we have to do is wait for the green card interview. So essentially, we were able to help a woman who was in an abusive situation with her husband. She's actually still married to this person. We were able to help her apply for this green card on her own. And the interesting thing is, this woman, she was out of status and she was married to a green card holder, right? So many people think that you have to wait until that green card holder becomes a citizen for them to petition for your green card. However, this person was in a situation where she qualified to apply for her own green card, even without her husband knowing. She was applied for her own green card, even though her husband was a green card holder and she was out of status. Okay, so and it was approved. This petition was approved in a matter of months, which is really exciting, which tells me that the Biden administration is moving a lot faster than it was previously. All right. So if you or someone you know is in this situation, I encourage you to seek legal assistance, to take advantage, to turn that horrible situation into something really good for yourself, to get yourself a work permit, a social security card, and ultimately a green card. Okay, great. I have some questions here and I'm happy to answer them. Hi, Jay. How are you? Jay says, what is the wait time on a U visa? The U visa wait time is several years. It's many years. But you do get benefits before you get issued a U visa. Okay. So you can check it. You can just put it into processing times and you will see essentially the wait times for your specific application. Okay. So it's several years. So don't worry. Don't worry if it's taking a really long time, because for U visas. So U visas, if you're wondering what that is, if for those of you that are unfamiliar with the U visa, sorry, I see a number of questions. Okay. Ooh, so many questions. Wow, you guys, you really came with a lot today. So I'm happy. I love it, and I'm happy to answer them for you. Okay. So a U visa is for victims of crime, right? So we are representing several people for a U visa. So one of our clients is a victim of domestic violence. She reported it to the police and she was without status. Because she's cooperating with the police, she is going to be eligible for a U visa, which is permission to live in the United States forever, work authorization forever. Once she gets the U visa and she's on it for a certain number of years, she will be able to apply for a green card and eventually her citizenship. So if you witnessed a crime and you're willing to cooperate with the police, you might be also eligible for a U visa, right? Many people call us and they have zero idea. They have no idea that this is possible for them, that this horrible incident, a crime, perhaps like a robbery, domestic violence, these are the different types of cases that we're currently working on. With regard to a U visa, we even had labor trafficking, labor fraud issues that qualify for a U visa. So we have a number of different case types, crimes that people were subjected to or witnessed, and they're cooperating with the police or cooperating in the prosecution of that crime, and therefore they qualify for a U visa. Okay. So again, that's what that's for. There is a wait time on it because there's only 10,000 U visas issued every single year. So there's a cap on the number that are issued, but your application can get approved. Once your application is approved, you're allowed to stay here until the visa is available, and you can get work authorization the entire time. So currently you can apply for work authorization at the same time, literally at the same time that we submit the U visa application. This is a little bit different than it was before, but now you can apply for that U visa at the same time that we submit the U visa. I'm sorry, you can apply for the work authorization at the same time that we submit the U visa application. So it's really pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to get work authorization after being kind of witness to kind of a terrible crime, or subjected or victimized by a terrible crime. You can use that situation to get yourself status in the United States if that is something that happened to you. So take advantage of it. If you're out of status, it can really change your life to be able to have a social security number, to be able to work with authorization. You don't have to feel scared. So if you have an opportunity like that, I encourage you to take advantage of it. If you want to call us for a consultation to see what the process is, to see what that might look like for you, feel free to reach me at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. Jay, I hope that was helpful to you. Call me if you need more help on that. Becky followed us. Great, follow us, and that's a reminder to everyone that's watching. I go live. I try to go once a day, but I sometimes have a hard time doing that. I really like to answer your questions, so feel free to put your immigration questions in, and really those one-off immigration questions, this is the opportunity for you to ask it. Just remember that this is just general information. It can't be considered attorney-client advice because we have so many people watching here and people watching on replays later on. So everything that we talk about is general information. It's not related to you specifically or your case. If you want a confidential consultation, if you would like a confidential consultation, call our office. Schedule some time with me. We'll go through your specific case. We'll address all of your questions. We'll go over processes, steps, fees, everything that's involved, and you'll have a really good picture of what you might be eligible for and what that might look like, okay? And to schedule that consultation, you can do it at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Kalia says, I have a question. The check for Homeland Security Department, is that check refundable? No, usually it is not refundable. So when you apply for anything, really, you send in a check to the government. So you can't really get that back. Unfortunately, you can't get that back. So once you apply for something, you can change your mind and you can withdraw the application, but you cannot really get that check back. Okay. Delwinder says, hello, ma'am. Okay, let me go back to Calypso. So Calypso, if you let's say there's something in your application that you want to change, right? You can always amend your application. So you can send a letter and let them know after you've applied that you want to add certain documents or you need to change something that's in there. I would say consult with a lawyer because you don't want to be kind of incriminating yourself or putting yourself in a bad situation if it's not necessary. Okay? Call me if I can help you, 703-348-1663. Delvinder says, hello, ma'am. I applied for a travel document about 4.5 months ago. Do you know how long the process is? It's usually between 6 to 8 months. So how long does it take to get a travel document, right? It takes about 6 to 8 months, and it comes usually, if you applied and you qualify, it will usually come along with your work authorization as well. All right. V Honey says, I applied for a U visa in 2016, but I have nothing yet about my work permit. So you have to make sure that you applied for your work permit, or your lawyer applied for your work authorization as well. So if you applied for a U visa, you may have to also apply for work authorization. So depending on when you applied, maybe you might be eligible now to apply for work authorization, right? Because the law changed recently, and now you can apply for work authorization at the same time as your U visa. So that was not always the case. So you can go ahead and do that now. All right. Chandan says, thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. Chandan says, thank you for your knowledge and information on U.S. immigration. You're welcome, Chandan. That's so kind of you to say. Chandan says, what is the wait time? Oh, I'm losing some questions here. I'm so sorry. Okay. All right. TikTok fam says, I checked my status online. It says a decision about the I-485 notice was mailed. What does that mean? Good or bad? I'm not sure. Usually, if it's approved, it says that it's approved, right? So usually if it's approved, it'll say that it has been approved. I'm not sure. I don't want to tell you something that is not right, but just keep an eye out, check your mail, see what that is, and you'll be able to read it. If it's a denial, you'll be able to read it, and you can appeal it if you think the decision was made wrongly. You can appeal it, or you can ask the government to reconsider the application based on the evidence. Okay, so call us if you need assistance with that. We're at 703-348-1663. Jay says, I've paid almost $24,000 for a U visa to a local attorney, but there's nothing since the last 3 years. So Jay, I'm sorry, that's a lot of money, I can tell. But unfortunately, U visas take forever, and I wish I could give you a timeline, but they really take so many years. So sit tight and wait. And hopefully, what I was saying to a client today is ask for your deferred action, which means it's approved, but a visa is not yet available. So I don't know if you're there at that point yet, but hopefully you can get to that point, and that means you can be here legally, and you can also get work authorization legally. Okay. Shavan says, I have been waiting on an appointment since last year. Well, some of these applications, I don't know what kind of applications you are submitting, but some of them take a really long time. All right, some of them take a really long time. Hira says, ma'am, I have a trucking business in the USA. Can I sponsor my brother as an employee for my company? So when you sponsor someone for a green card, like a family member, that relationship has to be disclosed. So it does not necessarily mean that you can't get them a green card, right? It doesn't mean that you can't apply for a green card for your brother, but it will be under very high scrutiny. You will have to have an employer-employee relationship with them. Everything has to be very formal and documented. It doesn't mean that it won't happen, but it will be very highly scrutinized, because what the government wants to see is that it's a real position and not just a way for you to bring family members into the United States. But here I note that you can also sponsor your brother depending on your own status. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can sponsor your brother for a green card. It's going to take many years, but you'll be able to sponsor him, spouse, children, everyone. All right? Okay. Jay says, I'm thinking about switching attorneys. Will you be a good fit? I'm in Missouri and I can pay the retainer. So Jay, that's great. We actually have a lot of people switch over to us. We have a lot of people switch over to us to be their lawyer once they already have a lawyer, and then they end up. Many people switch to us. Whether we're a good fit, that depends on you. You get to know me a little bit on here, but that depends on you. So feel free, feel free to, if you want to schedule a consultation and learn more, and I can give you my thoughts on your case, I'd be happy to chat with you. But yeah, that depends on you. You guys have to decide when you choose an attorney. I don't have a retainer, Jay. Jay is asking, what is your retainer and where are you located? We are located in Arlington, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. However, our clients are everywhere. Some of our clients want to come to our office, and I'm happy to see you in our office if that is you. If you're located locally or you feel like driving all the way out here to pay me a visit, I'm happy to meet with you in the office. But most of our clients choose to handle everything remotely. So we talk to them by Zoom, which is kind of a conversation like this. We talk to them by phone. We send emails. We have an online case management system where some of our more savvy clients can just drop documents in there. Otherwise, some of them email them to us. Many people mail documents to us. So we handle everything remotely. If you want, right? If you want to do everything in person, you're welcome to do that too. But I would say 99% of our clients will handle almost everything remotely. Okay. And we do fixed fees. So we do not do, we don't take retainers. We just give you a flat fee. Sometimes we're able to offer a payment plan. So that's how our law firm works for the most part. Okay. Give me a call if you want to schedule a consultation, 703-348-1663. Jay's saying, I can fly out Monday. You're welcome to fly out. I'm not available on Monday, but I will be available the following week. Next week is very booked up for me. I will be available the following week if you would like to come and meet me in person. If you want to handle things remotely, I would say just do a consultation, see if we're the right fit. I can give you my thoughts on your application. It's our fee for a consultation, is $150, but don't feel like you need to come out here and see me and take on a huge expense, which you might decide you don't even like me, right? All right. Which I don't think anyone really decides. Let's be serious, guys. I'm joking here. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining me, and I love being able to answer your questions here, and I will be on again, and hopefully if you want to have a consultation with our firm, you can call us at 703-348-1663. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.